Of course, RLUSD. This is probably the newest one. Why do you guys get into the stablecoin game? What was the kind of reasoning there, and what are your hopes for it?
Yeah, so having been facilitating payments for a long time, stable coins became a really obvious need for our customers. Um, the way we have facilitated payments for our customers in the past is mostly through XRP, using it as kind of a bridge asset so that, the cross-border transfer happens really quickly and very low cost. Um, However, digital asset, I would say like independent crypto-based currencies can be, volatile. So increasingly, customers have desired to use US dollar stable coins. I think the other thing too, because the other thing I should mention is, the composition of our customer base is a lot of businesses that are not in the United States. So places like Asia Pacific, Latin America, certainly Europe and the Middle East. But just taking the first two regions, there's desire for access to US dollars. Like stablecoins, stablecoins are very successful in crypto amongst, crypto users and to do any kind of crypto trading. But also just the simple use case of access to US dollars is a really big one. um, for those reasons, we have been using USD stables in our payment flows in a mix with XRP. Um, so really, it was just recognition that wow, this is a really big opportunity. There's gonna be more and more demand for payments through US dollar stablecoins. Uh, Being a provider to companies of that service, it would make sense that we launch our own. And, also a recognition that the stablecoin market has been growing and it's gonna balloon even more, especially seeing RWA tokenization on the horizon. It's gonna only drive more and more demand for stablecoins.
You need cash side of a transaction if you're going to buy it with
Yeah.
something. So what are you going to buy it with? Are you going to buy it with a Swift payment or some sort of stable coin? It makes complete sense. And you may and when, and I think that if your customers are in those other parts of the world, being able to serve them, but also you have some relationships with some banks who could potentially as Kai likes to say, every company needs a stablecoin strategy. And if you're already acting as an advisor on RWA, every company needs an RWA strategy. And how are these things going to start to come together?
Yeah. Definitely have seen that demand from some of those banks we work with. I can say, I mean, SocGen is certainly forward facing or forward leaning on that. They issued a Euro stablecoin on multiple chains, and one XP Ledger being one of them, but multiple chains. So yeah, I think they can see, yeah, the kind of more innovative banks are seeing that as something where I like what you said, that you need a stablecoin strategy.
Have Society Generale on the show previously. They talked about this. We've had BBVA on the show. They talked about their work with Visa's VTAP. I think the European financial institutions probably felt like they had permission because of MiCA. But
Mhm.
in the US, regulation has been a little bit less clear. But considering you're a US based company, there's been a change in administration. Sort of what's your readout now as to what the opportunity looks like in the domestic United States for some of these technologies?
It feels like the floodgates are going to open this year,
Mm.
doesn't it? I mean, so within the past week, a couple weeks, so SAB 121 being called back or rolled back. And I mean, within it felt like minutes, you hear from CEOs like Bank of America saying, we're all in. And, these are institutions that I mean, Bank of America was one of our early partners when we were doing kind of like the messaging software only payment solution. So we've worked with these types of banks for a long time, and the lack of clarity, and I mean, I think in the more recent time, even hostility toward, hey, like, using these assets and this technology is not okay, it's dangerous, which is not the best way to handle it, as we would say. But